Hi everyone. Today I sat down with Danielle Renov, the celebrated cookbook author, blogger, and Instagram personality behind the popular brand Peas, Love, and Carrots. I was following Danielle since I've signed on to Instagram. I know some of her story and I can't wait for you guys to hear more. She was born and raised in New York and made Aliyah to Jerusalem, Israel, where she combines her Ashkenazi and Sephardic heritage to create accessible, flavorful recipes that resonate with really a global, diverse audience. I'm telling you guys, I've cooked her food. It is amazing, tasty. Her personality is just so positive and it's contagious. Her book, Peas, Love, and Carrots, features over 250 recipes, and she also has a new project in the works called Micropeas. Through her multifaceted endeavors, Danielle Renov continues to inspire home cooks by making kosher cooking approachable and really enjoyable, fostering a sense of community, connection, and joy through shared culinary experiences. I hope you guys enjoy. A Soul Grows in Israel, a podcast where we ask the questions about ancient Jewish wisdom, modern life, and everything in between. So let's ask, let's have fun, and let's grow together. Okay, Danielle Renov from Peas, Love, and Carrots. Welcome to our podcast of A Soul Grows in Israel. Thank you for being on here.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here today.
I've been following you and wanting to sit down with you for a very long time, and I had no podcast. And now here we are today, and I find it to be, you're saying it's an honor to be there, but it's an honor to speak with you because I think you've stayed consistent for all the years I've been following you. And it's not just the great food, but it's been the sunshine and the inspiration and the obvious love for Hashem. So I want to touch on all those things.
Thank you. That's actually really nice to hear. Like there's such a focus on social media about being authentic and being this, and I always am so fascinated by it because I don't know why everybody needs to be so focused on being authentic. Like just kind of be who you are. You know what I mean? Like if you are who you are, then you don't have to overthink it so much. You just are whatever.
You like who you are. And I find that if you don't, and you're trying to slip into someone else's skin because you think someone's doing a better job than you or a better mother than you, that's when it starts to get inauthentic. And that's what I see in you. I see confidence, and it could be a really good childhood. It could be just an inborn thing, but because you're confident, people feel safe watching you. I can just speak for myself. You can't teach that.
Really.
Yeah.
Thank you. I think I definitely have like really awesome parents. Thank God, Baruch Hashem. But I think also I'm always trying to work on myself and grow. And it's not that I'm always 100% confident because there's a lot of areas that I'm not confident in. But the areas that I'm not confident in, I'm not trying to fix them by being someone else. I'm trying to fix them by fixing what's inside of me. So if, let's say, public speaking is a huge challenge for me, actually, and that's why I really don't take a lot of like big speaking events or things like that, because it's something that I really have to step outside of myself to do. Um, in theory, it's fine, it's all good, but then I get up and I'm like, whoa, totally overwhelmed. But so it's an area that I don't feel confident in, but I have found that over time I can work on it. I can not like try to public speak like somebody else does or do something somebody else does, but I can find areas where I can hone those skills or do things like that. And also daven whenever we need help with something. Like that's step one to anything. So I think a lot of people suffer from insecurity and are vulnerable in different areas. And I think if we look inward instead of outward and we actually see where we can try to refine the area that we're insecure, then probably, at least for me, their confidence can grow that.
Well, as a kid, are you similar to what you once were? Or do your parents say, yeah, that's just Danielle. She was always like X, Y, and Z?
I was always like a little nuts. So that's like that probably hasn't changed. I was always very like strong in my opinions and values and ideas, obviously over time and with maturity and experience and knowledge and growth, those values have like, I wouldn't say, some have changed for the better and some have just become more nuanced and more refined, but I always was pretty set in my positions,
Uh,
I'll say.
the reason I'm asking is I so often wonder, what is the nature? What is the nurture? Are we born with a specific sort of tendency, personality, mazal, whatever you want to call it? And then life has a way of refining it, like you said. And I really believe that. And I think that people get more sophisticated and drop beliefs maybe, but they don't really change. And I kind of love that when you learn to grow into your own skin even more and like who you are. I'm wondering if you could take us through your journey. Like, how did you end up to become this, I don't know, 125,000 plus influencer, if you will? Where did that come from? And how did this journey begin?
I don't know. I don't have a great answer. First of all, my job is not an influencer. My job is really a food blogger. I don't wake up in the morning and actually think like I want to inspire people. I want somebody to be inspired by me. I wouldn't call this an insecurity. Like, I think just it's like there's a lot of amazing female role models out there that are very, very holy. Um, and I think that they do a really incredible job at inspiring women, at giving over Torah, at giving over connection to Hashem, and giving over how to grow and like really deep mystical concepts that can help us refine our character and who we are. I don't I'm not that. I'm not a Rebbitzin. I'm not educated enough. I'm not holy enough. I'm just me. I am just me, who I am. And I am just, whatever reason Hashem decided, able to share who I am with more people than, let's say, a person without an Instagram account is able to. But in terms of like the word influencer, I feel like it's such a misnomer because every person is an influencer. So there is no difference. I'm saying if you're a mother, if you're a wife, if you're a daughter, if you're a sister, if you're a friend, you have influence on the people around you. And actually, we know that that's even a Torah concept. Like, we know how incredibly remarkable it was that Yaakov was able to stay in Laban's house and stay true to Hashem. And that's why he was able to see the Malachei Sharis, because he wasn't influenced by Laban. Even Laban, who's a Russia, the Torah recognizes has the potential to influence others.
Yeah.
So everybody actually should feel the, okay, burden is a heavy word, but the responsibility of knowing that their actions, their speech, their demeanor, how they carry themselves, their values influences the people that are around them. And actually, on one hand, it should feel like a responsibility that holds us to a standard, but it should also feel like an honor. Like, you are worthy of influencing somebody else. And everybody influences everybody. Siblings influence each other. Young children influence other young children. Young children very often influence their parents. Like, I learn things from my kids all the time. Sometimes kids see things so clearly. They're not marred by like the world and its opinions, and they just like have this like really unbelievable simplistic way of breaking something down. You're like, oh, whoa, yeah, you're right.
Because when I said the word influencer, it felt kind of weird coming out of my mouth. And then I realized, no, I mean it in a mashpia way, the original influencer. So I'm so with you. I have to say that sometimes the holy women, not everyone will connect to if you're not that. And if people are foodies and they can connect through Hashem while watching you, you're opening up the doorway to people who don't have access to the other things, or they want to change of pace for that morning. So I do think you're up there, whether you like it or not. There is a role model sort of. I know Aleph, I'm teaching Aleph, you know?
Thank you. That's very nice. I really thank you. I try to just share when I feel like comfortable sharing and when I feel I have something to share. And I try not to say anything when I have nothing to say, you know? But mostly I love to share food because for me, food is like this really approachable way to connect to other women. And more than sharing who I am, more than ever trying to, I mean, I guess actually there is one area that I do feel I want to influence everybody around me, not just on Instagram, but on my children and my friends. And like that area is like connecting to Hashem and davening for Mashiach. Like those are two things that I feel that I'm trying to always work on myself. And I want everybody around me to be working on, because I genuinely believe all of our lives, my life, your life, his life, her life, will all get better. The world will get better if we can all connect to Hashem in whatever way that means for each of us, and also to daven for Mashiach collectively.
So, yes, that don't you worry. We've got some Mashiach questions waiting for you. But before, tell me about day one. You sign up and you have an Instagram account. What did that look like?
Like nothing. Like nothing. I woke up in the middle of the night. My husband was in America. I was super just in a rut, and I actually had like my own little, not definitely not a crisis, but like I just wasn't in a great place. I'm a pretty happy person naturally, and I like things to be light and happy, and I feel that. But I was just in this rut. My Maggie was just born. She's my fifth baby, and we were going to Gan, picking up from Gan, going to the park, coming home, giving them dinner, going to sleep. And Ellie really wasn't in the country a lot. And I just felt very creatively like gray. Okay. Like that's the best word for me to say. Like everything is gray and blah. Like it was also winter in December, and I had gone to Uman like a month before to daven. And I actually had been there also before. And my experience there this time was dark. Like, and I'm not a dark person. And I just sat by Rabbi Nachman and I really cried, and I didn't sleep well at night. And I kept writing things in my journal, and like it was disjointed, and even my tefillahs weren't clear. Like I didn't even know necessarily what I was davening for. And I came home and I remember telling Ellie, like, I felt very unsatisfied by like the experience, by davening. Like I felt like if you don't connect to Kfarim, to going to like the holy graves of, Sadiq and to daven, then maybe this is something that's hard to understand. But for me, my mother's been taking us since we were little kids we used to joke that like we went on vacation to cemeteries, but like we actually did. So maybe this doesn't speak to everybody. That's okay. But usually, especially if you're like looking for something or searching, if you go to a kever and you really daven and you sit and you connect to the person whose kever you're at, there can be a sense of peace that comes with you, because you feel like you have an advocate in Shamayim. Like obviously you're davening to Hashem, but in the merit, in the zchus, of which it is tremendous, of this holy person you are at. And I came back and I didn't feel like that. And I actually felt like a little bit abandoned by Rabbi Nachman. Like I felt like just like he wasn't helping. Like, I don't know, it was closed. That's what I felt like. It was just the gates were closed. I was able to talk to Hashem directly, but like Rabbi Nachman was not able to advocate for me. That's what I felt like. And I don't think that's true, but that at the time was the feeling that I had. And then lo and behold, 3 weeks later, I was so bored that I woke up in the middle of the night and I started this account, and it was a huge bracha. So in retrospect, everything led to something else. And obviously, Rabbi Nachman was advocating for me, and Hashem was makabel all my tefillos, because Hashem is always makabel our tefillos. Sometimes we get different answers and whatever, but at the time I couldn't see it. And it literally played out like a few weeks later. And so many things happened, like this led to this, which led to this, which led to this, like that butterfly effect. And that trip was significant in creating the Instagram account. And then I just opened this account and I posted like some pictures of food that I had on my phone, and that was it. By the morning, a few of like my friends had like seen it, and they're like, "Are you peace loving carrots?" I'm like, "Yeah, I started it last night," literally. And then one of my friends texted me a few days later, and she was like, "Danielle, if you post another picture of food without a recipe, I'm unfollowing you." And I was like, "Oh, like you just want me to write it out?" I was like, "But I don't have measuring spoons." I like got measuring spoons. And I started measuring things, and they started posting recipes. And at that time, nobody posted recipes on Instagram because everybody had like blogs, and it was sort of like head on over to the blog to get the recipe. And I was like, that seems like a lot of work. I'm really impulsive. I can't deal with that. Like, I'm just going to post the recipe here. And I did. And it just took off very quickly. A few years later, Instagram launched stories. And since I'm a little girl, I have, I don't want to say obsession because that's an extreme word. However, my mother and Ellie will say it's an obsession with like infomercials. I love them. I love them. I'm not a sleeper. I love infomercials. In fact, we were just cleaning the machsan recently, and Ellie found, I didn't even remember I had this. I didn't even know he was like storing them like this. Okay. He found a pile of infomercial things that I have bought over the years. And then I don't even know what to do with them because forgetting is a legit thing. That thing is awesome. Awesome.
Easy. You know, I have to say that I just read something about Rabbi Nachman, and it might speak to you, but he said how, like, if you go to a wedding and everyone's in a circle dancing and there's one girl who's not part of your circle, like, get up and bring her in. And he said that's what sadness should be. Sadness is outside your joy circle. And he says, bring sadness into your life. No emotion deserves to be excluded. And even through the gray time that you described came all your purples and your greens. It was probably necessary, A, to have empathy, but also to give you something that's that authentic because you know what it's like and you know what it feels like. I have a hard time connecting to people who have never felt that way, you know, because then where's the grit? Where's the learning? Where's the maturity? So none of us want to go through gray. But when you
That's like there's anybody that doesn't experience that at different points in their lives, whether it's childhood, middle school, high school, camp, something like I think everybody goes through things like that. I think it's what we do with those moments. Like I think some people can just go through it and never think about it again and not let it impact you. And I know like when I was going through a really hard time and someone came to be Menachem Avel and said, like, you don't ask lama, you ask lima. We don't say lama, we don't say why, we say lima, for what? And I think that was like just something that I always stuck with me because it's so simple. It's such a simple reframe. And also you can like visualize it. Like you could see the letters lam and mem hey, and you just see lama, and then you just like do like all the nikudot switch around, and now it's lima and it's for why. And it's actually like a much easier concept to connect to because we don't know why, but we know for what. Ultimately, there's like the big for what, right? Which is like to be mitzakein the world and mitzakein Adam and Chava, and like to get us, you know, to a place of shleimus and fine. And then there's like the personal journey, which is to mitzakein our own, you know, things and whatever to bring our neshamas to the places that it needs to be. But then even on like a really, really macro level, you know, it's for what? Like, what did I experience this for? Like, just what are the ripple effects for this in my own life? Like, what did I go through this for? What's going to come of this?
Yeah.
Is this experience going to break me? Is it going to hold me back? Is it going to destroy me? Is this going to be the reason I'm destroyed? Is this going to be the reason I can't function? Is this going to be the reason I can't go on? Is this going to be the reason I don't believe in God? Or is this going to be the reason that I become closer to God? Is this going to become the reason that I strengthen my character traits, that I strengthen my practice, my avoda? For what? Like, should it be for nothing or should it be for something? Should it be for something small or something great? Should it be for something that's negative or for something that's positive?
That's where your free choice, I guess, comes in ultimately. Okay. So let's get light. Okay. I want to talk about food. First of all, I'm married to a legit foodie, and it's not so much fun to cook when he's in the house because he fixes everything for the better and it's just annoying. However, I'm giving props, okay? And I did 1 week of peas, loaves, and carrots. I decided I'm doing one of your okay, first of all, if you guys are watching this on YouTube, this girl is worn out. I've got this book. It is dog-eared. This is how you know you love something very much.
I love it. I love to see that. I love it.
It's got splatters.
Want to see brand new cookbooks.
No, ew, exactly. It's like, you know, you see someone's like holy books and they're all shiny and untouched. You're like, no.
I don't want that. Yeah, I want them used. Dog-eared, dirty, stained. Yeah.
Going on. Okay. And so I did a thing. I'll tell you the recipes I chose because, okay, my favorite flavor profile. If you give me limes and chilies, I will do whatever you say. I don't care if it's in seltzer or whitefish. I'm here for it. Okay.
Yeah. I'm with you.
Like the best. And so I went for Asian crunchy salad. And then of course I did the easy corned beef and I did the soup, the huara soup. And I did ridiculous things all the way to your chili and I was like, wow, how many cookbooks? Normally I get a cookbook and it's either very highbrow and that's where I get a lot of my Asian flair, or I go to a cookbook that's kind of like old school and I get my corned beef. How do you manage to not be a food snob and still not compromise and speak to us laymen out here in the kitchen?
It's hilarious because we just finished okay, we started another series of like cookbooks. It's called Micropeas, and each book is like very small in size, like tiny but mighty. And every cookbook is focused on a very specific niche topic. Now, as a recipe developer, and a cookbook author, that's actually a very hard thing to do because, right, like the first book was boneless chicken. So it was 20 boneless chicken recipes. It is very difficult to create 20 recipes for the exact same protein, but make them different, make them approachable, different flavor profiles. And then it's extra challenging actually to photograph them and make it not feel boring and whatever and blah, so that like as you're turning the pages, like you're still interested and it's pretty and whatever. So the topic we were just doing now is like actually like kind of like a very comforting, Hamish topic. And the food stylist kept saying, she's like, Danielle, I don't understand. Like, you actually can cook. Like, how are you okay with some of these recipes? I'm like, because what do you mean? I'm like, because it's just how it is. Like, I am. She's like, but you have this recipe and this recipe. I'm like, okay, yeah. Sometimes I want a patchka, sometimes I don't. Like, it's not that I'm not food snobby. I have like my snobby things about some things with food. That is true. Like, I am very finicky about peels of vegetables and things like that. It's like I have like a sensory thing, I think, and whatever textures can get to me. But I don't know. I have room for it all, but I am like that in every area of my life. Like, I like the really street food, messy, like oily, fried, salty MSG, but I also like a really, really refined, beautiful piece of fish with braised celery and very delicate flavors and layered on flavor profiles. Like I like that also. I like it all, but also like I love Rabbi Nachman, but I also like love the brisker Rav, and like I like very, very connected to the brisker Rav Shita of Bitachon. And I also went through Tanya a day, and I love everything.
You don't know
I
how to
can't
think
be
like boxes. You're like, don't put me in a box. Yep. I think that's the future, first of all, for Klal Yisrael. I keep saying, like, Ashkenazim, Sephardim, Hasidim, Musar, religious, non-religious. I think we're moving to a place with our children more than us, where we're just going to merge and we're going to mesh and learn from each other. And I can't wait for that, number one. And now my kids
I
will
mean, I was that already though, because my mother's Moroccan, my father's Ashkenaz, and my parents are so respectful of each other and where they come from and their families and their minhagim that my parents really blended everything so seamlessly that in my mind, it's not even like, why would it be weird for somebody to be connected to the brisker bitachon shita and also to learn Tanya? Like, they're both brilliant. They both have so much wisdom to give over. Like, why would I shut anybody out? It just doesn't even make sense to me. And at the same time, like, why can't I love shawarma and also love like a really perfectly cooked piece of steak with like a reduction? And you know what I mean? Like, why can't I like,
my kids always say, Mom, if you can have one thing that wasn't kosher, what would you want to eat? And I'm always like, I'll be honest with you, nothing stands out in my mind except I want to be able to travel and have the street food. But my question to you is, if you really are a foodie and we're in Thailand and I get my baked salmon from Chabad, I'm just going to say I'm so grateful that that exists. How do you do that stuff? That just sometimes I'm like, that is really, really difficult.
okay, the traveling I will say is definitely hard. But like, thank you, Chabad, for literally being everywhere. And actually a lot of Chabad houses that are in like very culturally distinct places, like Thailand, will actually make like Thai food and things like that. So you can sort of feel it, but yeah, that is a challenge. I definitely feel like there's not kosher food I want to eat. um, okay, I'll tell you what, chicken and cheese doesn't do it for me. I actually like find it a little bit nauseating. Um, I would say that there are times where a cheeseburger could look good to me. Not all the time, but sometimes. Like pork, I feel is very dirty. I don't know why. Maybe that's because like we're trained from we're young, but like nothing, no pork. Yeah. I will say that shellfish, I can taste it in my mind. Like the oceany flavors, like I can like suck the claw of a lobster. Like I see it. I could see it. It looks delicious. I feel I would love it.
That's hilarious. My husband had an uncle who's no longer alive who wasn't Jewish, and he would say, "Josh, you need to taste lobster." And he was brought up hearing that. So my husband's whole life, he's like, "I just want that salty oyster," and he sees it on a bed of ice, and he's like, and I'm like, Wait, I get it."
Yeah, I feel that I could really dive into shellfish.
I
Like,
But whenever I have passion fruit, I always feel like I'm eating something forbidden. I always feel like maybe this is the consistency of oysters. Maybe it's wishful thinking. Probably.
okay, I don't know if like oysters and mussels speak like the texture of the actual thing speaks to me, but when I see like, let's say like French mussels, like when they're cooked in like white wine and a tomato broth and garlic and like tartar and like they take the like I would like the juices for sure. Um, the lobster I want to eat. On the other end, also like not even fine dining, like when you see like crab boils like down south and they like jump out the whole like
The paper bag. Uh-huh. I know. I know.
like okay, I could get exact. I could wear the bib. I could do it. I mean, like I mean,
It's almost not like a specific food. It's anything done really well. And I think that, like when we were brought up, okay, guys, I'm older than you are, but we had like Chinese food. We had kosher delight. I grew up in Brooklyn. There was very sort of limited scope of fine food, and we didn't know. I didn't even remember having a lot of red meat as a kid. It was ground beef or chicken. Like we were not, wine was a joke. Nowadays, specifically when you live in Israel, I mean, we really aren't missing much, right? It's like the whole miracle of Israel.
and he's seriously missing kosher delight. Like there's a hole in his heart that is kosher delight sized. But
Yeah. Let me add that in your cookbook, you have this whole section where you discuss who in your family likes what recipes. And of course, in your own special way, it's color coordinated. You must have like some level of a healthy OCD. And I don't mean to make light of anything, but it's so perfect. It's amazing.
it's not.
Danielle does not recommend it, but it's a pleasure for us.
Yeah, I definitely like things to be very organized and neat. Although now, like we live in a small space, Baruch Hashem, we're a lot of people, so organization is less achievable. Because it's more about like fitting into the space. But I really have learned over time to let go. I myself, like you can very distinctly tell in my room or in my bathroom, like what's my areas. And what's
Uh,
my areas.
all of us.
Height organized or color organized or alphabetized, and his are like not. He's not spending extra time in his day, organizing like bottles of shampoos and soaps.
And if you want that, you would not want your husband to be more organized than you guys. I think that's its own, like, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
we're good.
Baruch Hashem.
But speaking of husbands, like yours, my husband is extremely camera shy. And I actually do some podcast interviews with him. And then there's no visual, no picture on that album. And I realized, and I think I learned a lot from you, which children are uncomfortable being on camera and which children really are. And you very much respect their boundaries. And I have to add how family comes first before anything. And it's not a given. So I have to say that is so cool to see.
Thank you. So it's interesting because actually a lot of times it's a little bit of a hindrance in what I do, and people like give me a hard time at it, but I actually don't care because I feel this is where like I think I haven't changed just a little. I feel very strongly in my decision to like not care about anything besides them first and then do everything after. But sometimes people like call me to like schedule things and I'm like, listen, we can schedule it. But if something comes up, like I live in Israel, things here are not planned months in advance or weeks in advance. Like it's very likely that I could get a note home on a Sunday that Tuesday morning we're having a misibah in Gan and I need to be there. Like I'm not coming on your podcast or whatever, going to speak or doing a holiday if my like girl's having a misibah. Like I'm not missing the misibah. I love those misibahs. I'm gonna be there, So like I always have to give a disclaimer. Like if I have to cancel, I'm canceling. That's it.
Sometimes you have priorities. No, it's so important. So important. Your kids.
So people give me a hard time at it, but I'm like, okay, so it's fine. I still like you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. You don't have like, there's other people that do what I do. Like, I'll make a recommendation for you for sure. It just can't be me. Like it's obviously not the right shit. Everything comes from Hashem. So I'm good with that. But I think that, when it comes to specifically, okay, it's hard because I feel that this topic gets a little controversial, but for me, it's not. Because it doesn't come with any judgment. Like everybody lives their life in the way that's best. But for me personally, I have a very traditional mindset when it comes to the roles of mothers and fathers, and or me and my husband. And for me, I do believe my place is in the home. And I know that, people have a hard time hearing that, but that's okay. Maybe it's not right for you. Maybe it's not that for you. For me, it is right. Ironically, I'm like actually not always in the home because I have a job and I have peace, love, and carrots, and Hashem kind of put that into my life. But because my value is being in the home, so I'm home at 4 o'clock when my kids get home every day. I pick up from Gun, I drop off at Gun. Dinner comes first. I would say like there's 3 weeks in the whole year where I'm not home when they come home, and that's when we're doing a photo shoot. But they're very much involved in the process. They come and visit me. I mean, it's around the corner from my house, so they come and hang out with me there. Like my business never comes first. They always come first. So then when it comes to putting them on camera or not, it's like if you come first and your feeling is discomfort being on camera, then okay, then it ends there for me. That's it. So I would say all of my kids are very comfortable being on camera until their teenage years. Once their teenage years come, it's like iffy. My oldest son loved it when he was little. I have like many, I mean, there's even posts, like if you scroll down of like, Mayor made this dinner, but like we did it in stories and you couldn't save it back then. Loved it. And now will not go near it. I mean, he also doesn't love like devices and things. He tries to like stay away from them. But he does not want to be on camera, and that's great. Dovey loves being on camera, but feels a little pressure by his older brother. So he'll be iffy, one day yes, one day no, or like
Your Dovey reminds me of you, and I wonder if you see that.
yeah, we're both incredibly impulsive, loud, like big. We take up space, like yeah. He's very similar.
I have that with my kids. I got one, and we're just buddies. It's an unspoken.
Yeah. He's funnier and more talented, but he is very similar. Baruch Hashem. But so he'll go like back and forth. So with him, I always have to ask, because sometimes even if he's on camera, he'll regret it after. So I'll get it. I'll be like, Joby, is it okay if I post this? Do you want to see it first? Because I don't want him to feel uncomfortable in his own home. That would be crazy. Like, imagine if I created a space where they didn't feel like safe, where they didn't feel like they could be who they were. Like, oh my gosh, their mother's going to post it for people. That's no.
Yeah, you're right. No way.
So I always double check. My girls right now love it still. Like nobody has issues. I would say like I have 1 or 2 girls. Okay. Last night we were sitting here and we made something in the studio yesterday. We're going to post it tomorrow. It's like a really delicious recipe. And Efrat was eating it, and she's 4 and she's like usually pretty down. I'm like, Efrat, can I video you eating it? Cause you're so cute. It's like kind of like an adult's flavor profile. And she was like slurping it up. It was so cute. And she was like, no, not right now.
He had a boundary.
I was like, okay. She's like, maybe tomorrow. I'm like, okay, we can discuss it tomorrow. Like, I didn't even want her to feel committed to that she should feel like a weight of it tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? And like, I was so happy for her that she said that. And I was so happy for the moment that she could see that I could respect her boundary. But it was natural. It wasn't like, I didn't like make a big deal about it. I was like, okay, great. No problem. Just put the phone down.
I have a lot of listeners who are my students. So again, you might think you're influencing people, but when people say, these are my boundaries, my family always comes first, the fact that that's even controversial tells you where our world is today. But young girls need to hear that, because it's, first of all, it's the best investment you'll ever make in your life is investing in these kids and your spouse. Number one, if you want to do it selfishly. But besides for that, it's like living a wonderful life, and they prioritize you as long as it's suitable, specifically with your spouse. And I just think this is a lesson that is not spoken enough about in public spaces. And let's get a bit old fashioned. No matter what your career is, let's remember that being a mother is one of the biggest gifts, same as a wife, if we are zocha to that. So I want to thank you for being a person that really does walk the walk. Okay. I want to pivot to growing up in the 90s. Who were your chefs? Like, who did you watch on TV as a teenager?
Like, this is really dating me, but okay, well, there wasn't like so many cooking shows, and it was mostly like Channel 13, like and programming type of thing. We had like Jack Papat, like he was like an OG. We had Julia Child. Later, we had the Italian. What was her name? Lydia Bastianich.
Oh, I love her. Yeah, a really Channel.
Yeah. Later we had Emerald, but Emerald was more like teenage years, like late 90s, early.
Emerald were for fancy families. You had cable TV, right? We didn't get cable. Did you ever have Ming Tsai, who I was obsessed with on Channel 13?
Yeah, we had him inside, but he was like, it wasn't like good filming. So it was hard to watch. Also, like, we couldn't get any ingredient. I mean, I love Chinese food, so it stuck to me, but we couldn't kosher ingredients like that back then.
Oh my God, I remember like, ooh.
And then Food Network started. It's like 5 chefs. That was it. There was 5 of them, and you watched what you had.
Yeah.
Rachel Ray, Abby Play, Ina. Literally love Ina.
I found that the Food Network, as the years went on, became a bit more game showy, cartoonish. And I think in the beginning, it was like bare bones food, which I really liked without production, you know, but be that as it may, fair enough. You haven't left your original vision. I think you have not become kitschy or gimmicky. You're still like, here's the basics, which I love. Like, we're going to teach you how to make the Moroccan challenge. And like you said before, now it's on to sashimi. And again, it's like wonderful. I want to ask you about your new project. You touched on it before. You're creating a bunch of recipes from one base ingredient, right?
Yeah, or a concept. A little sneak peek, because anyway, we're going to launch it officially. Our second book, actually, I want to get it.
Yes.
I'm going to show you. Okay, so this is the Micropeas series.
So pretty.
This is, that you could see it's like tiny, okay, tiny but mighty. And this is the first, this is the second. The first was on boneless chicken. So there was only recipes featuring white meat, dark meat, boneless chicken. Our second book, I am really, really proud of. First of all, there's a co-author. All the subsequent Micropeas have co-authors, which is really nice. Sorry, I'm getting emotional. You don't understand how much I put into the second book. No, this book though is really a masterpiece. I'm just going to show it to you. You have to take it in. It's like the type I keep telling Ellie, like, I don't think it's going to like do in pre-sales what this did, but I think it's the type of book that once you get it, you're going to go back and buy another one because you're going to be afraid, like what happens if it gets ripped or something. And you're also going to buy it for your daughter that's like 5 because you need to make sure she has it. And also for all your friends because it is a book for life. Dum, dum, dum. It's called, here, can you see that?
Now I can.
Okay, so it's called Micropeas. It's called the salad formula. Now, when we write a cookbook, you have to know that cookbook authors are dealing with a lot, and not just writing the actual recipe, but also figuring out how it's going to be photographed, how it's going to be presented, the graphics, the text that goes with it, how the recipe is written, but also what is the person cooking going to see? So the problem with salads is that originally when we started out writing a salad book, I was not okay with it. Like I kept like waking up in the middle of the night. I was like anxious about it. I'm like, I really don't like this book. I don't like it. I don't want to write 20 salad books. Like, I'm sorry, but like I make salad every single night. I also make a lot of salads for lunch. So I'm not like making really elaborate involved salads 2 times a day or even every single day. It's too much work to give people. And this book is going to be obsolete. Like, I don't like it. What I really wanted to do, and you have my first book, so you know I'm passionate about this, was I wanted to give people salad dressings. Because that is something that you can do so much with. But if I give you the salad recipe, I put you into a box. Nobody ever makes the dressing from the halloumi sweet potato salad in the dairy section of the cookbook, even though that dressing is delicious because the dressing is not on its own. So we did something really interesting. So first of all, this is the cover. That's the co-author, Connie Applebaum from Business in Brooklyn.
Right.
She's actually our only co-author so far with the platform. The rest of them are like really more micro bloggers, things like that. It's really beautiful, the cookbook. Chaya photographed it.
You use some architecture there that I see that really harks back. I mean, you for sure realize that's a Moroccan right there. Stunning.
Yeah, we did. We do. And basically, the book is a manuscript, okay? So it starts off, you know, basic, just things to know about this book, the types of salt we use, things like that. But then it's how to build a salad, okay? And it's really easy to read, and it's really informative, and it's all the layers, and it gives you amounts so that you can portion it out and figure out I'm having, you know, 15 guests. This is the amount of lettuce I need. And it gives you the option, and it gives you cutting techniques for every vegetable. And then it gives you cooked or roasted vegetables and pickled marinated vegetables and herbs and proteins and salad toppers. And it's really like you can formulate your own salad. Now, here's where it really became special. we divided the book into chapters. So the first chapter is salad dressing. There's 22 salad dressings plus 5 bonus dressings. Okay. So you have 27 dressings in one book. Then you have a chapter of proteins and a chapter of salad toppers. Now you scroll through the book and what you see is the herby miso vinaigrette, but underneath we gave you 2 different salad varieties that you can make with every salad.
My mind is
You right now have 44 different salads, okay, off the bat. And what we did that really nobody was happy with me, but I really pushed and it took a lot for me because we don't work like this. Every single measurement in the salad measurement has a metric measurement. Now, why is that important? Because I think a lot of homes today, because of like Corona and sourdough, own a kitchen scale. If you take a jar and put your jar on the kitchen scale, all you need to make your salad dressing is a spoon. You don't need to dirty a cup. You don't need to dirty a tablespoon. You don't need to dirty a teaspoon. All of your metric weights are right there. It is so simple. You just make your salad dressing right in the jar. I am telling you, you don't understand. Every salad is just delicious. There are look at that. Look at that. There are so many just delicious options and combinations, and you can actually go on and create your own. So this is like an example of the proteins. That's 3 of the proteins. There's, I believe, 12 proteins.
with the said dressings. This has never been done before. I think you just reinvented.
No. It actually has never ever been done in the world.
Oh my God.
Like this is really, I mean, and the photography and the styling is just top notch. Absolutely gorgeous. It's a masterpiece. But my favorite part is that I only wanted to give you new recipes. So there's 22 new recipes. However, in addition to the 22 new recipes, even though I love the original Peas, Love, and Carrots book, I didn't want you to have to schlep out that book all the time. Like, you should have all your salad dressings in one place. Those original recipes, like the 5 most popular ones from Peas, Love, and Carrots, they're right here also.
That's sesame dressing.
Creamy pie dressing, creamy sesame, Caesar, Mimi's Big Batch Lemon Vinaigrette, Old School Balsamic. They are all right here. Like, we did not want you to have to search. Like, we wanted this book to just be something that, like, you make salad, this is all you need. It's everything.
You want to make my life easier. And oh my God, guys, can you send me the link so we can put it on bottom of our description? It is so beautiful. And the minimal amount of silverware makes us all so happy. Simplicity. I love a scale. I love to tear it and just keep going. Wow. That's amazing.
I know. They look so pretty next to each other. Like the colors.
If you're not watching this on YouTube, there's like these beautiful Moroccan prints on these books. It's just everything is aesthetically pleasing, which is my love language. So it's amazing. Amazing. Okay.
I'm really excited about it. You're the first person that we're telling. So
it's a Soul Grows in Israel exclusive. I read cookbooks for fun. I'm so excited. We've got I have some rapid fire questions. Okay. I'm going to throw out 2 or 3, and the 3 is the big one. Okay. So let's start with, what does annoy you when it comes to watching people cook? What is that thing that you're like, oh, I wish you wouldn't do that? And it's sort of something that you get a little snobby about sometimes.
I have a few things. First of all, dirty fingernails. Well, just wash your hands. Just wash your hands.
Yep. Same.
Yeah. Just wash your hands. That's also when people give incorrect information, like cooking information, I genuinely feel like, specifically with food, because food costs money and people have to go out and buy the food and pay for the food. When you teach people the wrong way to spatchcock a chicken and you're cutting it through the breast instead of the back, and technical things like that you could very easily Google before, I feel bad. You're teaching so many people how to do things so incorrectly. Doesn't really matter, but it's just Google it first.
You're a professional, and again, you're trying to make your consumers have the easiest time possible. So you're frustrated for us, not for yourself. So I appreciate that. Okay, I saw you say the other day how Lag BaOmer is your favorite Chag, and then you paused. You're like, wait, there's also Hanukkah, 1 minute, also Sukkot, Pesach. What is your ultimate favorite holiday?
Pesach is my favorite. for sure. It's like the best time of year. The weather is changing. I also find it the easiest holiday. I don't even understand how people don't think it's the easiest. Yes, you have to clean your house before, but then it comes, the food is easy, the meals are easy. It's not complicated. Like it's easy cooking. It's just chill, relaxed vibes, nice family time. I don't know. Sukkot is much more labor intensive because of like the way it falls out. I can't even talk about Purim. Like Purim is the lowest for me on my list of holidays that I like. It's not the day itself. The day itself is fine. It's the 2 weeks in this country leading up to Purim. Like every kid needs a different costume. Every kid comes home like at like 8 o'clock at night. They hand you the Petsak and they're taking. It's like I need to bring like Vaflim. I'm like I don't have Vaflim. I'm sorry. Like what? Every day it's up there. Purim is very intense for mothers in this country, I think. I don't know, Hanukkah's fun, they're all fun, but Lag BaOmer is special.
You are obviously a Hasid at heart, because if Lag BaOmer touches you, there's something about Israel Lag BaOmer. It doesn't hit the same overseas, I have to say, unless you live in Borough Park or whatever. But Lag BaOmer in Israel is magic. It really is. I'm so with you on that.
Well, we grew up, my aunt lived in Tveria when we were little, so we used to go for the summers a lot. And we would go a lot to Rashbi, to Meron. So I always just felt very connected there. I love going to Meron. Like there's a few kfarim that I connect to, like more than other places. I like happen to love being there. I love that when you get there, there's so many types of people there, like different types all the time. But once you walk in there, it's always quiet. Like everybody's always there. Like it just feels a very holy, like on fire. You feel the fire. Like,
Uh-huh. I
don't know. I find it very inspirational to be by his cover, even on a regular day, like not kosher to Lag BaOmer. But Lag BaOmer is also the best of the Jewish music. It's so good. Maybe it's also because we've just come out of like savory music.
I go like say anything's gonna sound good to me right now. No offense.
You should know our biggest challenge this photo shoot this last week was the music. We're like, we cannot to photography.
It's gonna work, okay? Like the other day, my husband and I have coffee every morning together, which is really so special. And he's very into his coffee and the pour over and it's whatever. It's a whole art. And we always have these speakers. He always puts on music. And lately he's been putting on a cappella. And I said, sweetie, I think this is like Christian chamber music. He's like, oh my God, yeah, it is. It was so beautiful. But I'm like, I'm not sure that's in the spirit of Sphira either. All right, fine.
Right.
Last question. I actually ask to every guest, non-Jewish, non-affiliated, or Hasidish, it's the same question. And my question is, when you imagine a repaired world, which you can call Geula, enlightenment, whatever you want to call it, can you paint a picture of how you envision that looking?
I don't know. I can't.
You can't even.
I'm sorry. I know. I wish I had a better answer than that, but I don't, and I don't go there. Sure, I have.
Let me interrupt you before you say your picture. I think that Judaism is the only religion, if you'll let me use that word, that doesn't paint a precise picture. There's no apocalypse or Sharia. It's so open to interpretation and mystery that I love the I don't know, because I think it's a very honest way to go about it. But yes, continue.
The only picture I have is that, like, hopefully we'll be Zochet Tzitchias HaMesim. So I think about like waiting on a mountain for like that to happen. But I don't know what the world will, I don't even know what that will look like. Like, I don't try to visualize that. I don't even try to like, I don't even feel like I need to. Like, that's Hashem's job. Like, he's going to do it much better than I can do it. So, like, why would I even bother? Like, I mean, can you imagine, like, pre-world, okay, pre-Bereshis, somebody asking that question? Like, if you built a world, what, like, would you think of apples? Would you think of fruit? Like, would you think of, like, pineapples that you can just, like, roll around and pull the thing out? We didn't even know that, and they've been around for, like, 5,000 years. You know what I mean? Like,
I know. You're right.
Who would have thought of all of this? Icebergs and cold climates and hot climates and tropical and desert and arid and mountains and valleys and creeks and rivers and lakes and oceans and saltwater and freshwater and springs and waterfalls, rainbows. Like, Hashem can do this so much better than we can do this. I don't even want to.
None of our business, basically. Yes, I think that's.
I want it to be my business. I wouldn't be able to do it as well as it.
I love that answer. I think it goes along with your whole theme of, I don't know if you realize this about yourself, but I'm going to give it to you, of a lot of humility. Okay. A lot of humility, a lot of saying, this isn't me, whatever, this is something that Hashem gave me, and I'm going to take it with sort of knowing my space, knowing where I don't belong. And I really do, again, appreciate it. It's not false humility. It's the real type that comes with energy and koach. So I would just want to give you a quick bracha that may you always have the strength to continue bringing light to our lives and making Instagram a safe space and inspirational and all positive vibes. So Danielle, thank you so much for being a guest on A Soul Grows in Israel.
And thank you so much for having me. It was so nice to get to know you.
Yeah.
I'm coming up in the studio when you're to the lighting. We love having visitors.
All right. We're new best friends. Thank you guys. Have a great day.